This is STEAMCODE's Wiggly Caterpillar. Before we put it together, let's see how it looks. To make the Wiggly Caterpillar, you will need the materials from STEAMCODE, comes in a bag. You will also need a small Phillips head screwdriver, and it's helpful to have a pair of pliers and also a pair of scissors. First thing you need to do is take your materials out of the bag. Inside, you will find 3 smaller bags and also a battery box. Inside the larger bag, find the 2 halves of the gearbox, the 3 gears, the axles, the 3 metal screws. You can set the cranks aside, the motor aside, and the wiggly gear aside, as well as some other extra metal pieces that are included. First, find the small axle. Find the side of the gearbox that says STEAMCODE on the back. Flip it over and insert the small axle into the top right opening. Then find the smallest gear and place it on top. Next, find the 2 medium-sized axles and the 2 remaining gears. Push the medium-sized axles into the gears so that the gears are about halfway down the axle. Notice that one of the gears has a top and a bottom sticking out, and the other gear only has one side sticking out. Find the gear that has 2 sides sticking out. It looks like this. With the smooth side going down, place this axle and gear into the hole labeled F. It should look like this from the side. Then find the 3rd gear and the hole labeled S. Place the gear and axle into the hole labeled S with the smooth side sticking up, like that. It should look like this from the side. Please test your gears. When you turn any of the axles, all 3 gears should move. Find the other half of the gearbox and line up the holes, F and S, over the axles, and pinch them together. On the side that says STEAMCODE, you should see that there are 3 holes, 1, 2, 3. Find the 3 small metal screws, insert them in the holes, and tighten with your screwdriver. You can set your gearbox aside for a few minutes. Next, find the 2 remaining bags, the one that has the wooden pieces in it, and the bag that contains the nuts and screws. Also find the 2 plastic cranks. From those bags, find the 2 wooden pieces that are rectangular. Find 4 L-shaped metal pieces, 10 metal nuts, and 10 short screws. You will also need to get the gearbox out and find the 2 plastic cranks that were in the first bag. Find the 2 plastic cranks. Pick up your gearbox and make sure that the axles are sticking out about equal distance from the gearbox on each side. Find the 2 plastic cranks and push them onto the axle that is at the top that's also labeled F. Then find the body frame that has 6 holes on it. Using the 2 holes that are close to the middle, place the body frame on top, lining up the openings on the body frame with the openings on the gearbox. Insert the small metal screws into the openings and attach the washer to the bottom. Use your screwdriver to tighten each side. Now it's time to attach the L-shaped pieces to the body boards. First, place the L-shaped piece underneath the body board to line up the holes. And then from the bottom side, pass the screw through the hole and use a metal nut to fasten it. Do the same thing with the other hole. From underneath, use your screwdriver to tighten the screws. Repeat the same process on the other side, passing the screws up from the bottom. Repeat the same process on the other body board, placing the L-shaped piece underneath, flipping it over, and adding screws from the bottom, and adding the nut from the top. And this is how the body board should look when you're done fastening the L-shaped connectors. Next, find the 2 short connecting rods with 3 pre-drilled holes, the other 2 short connecting rods with 2 pre-drilled holes, the 2 long connecting rods, 8 short screws, 2 long screws, and 10 plastic nuts. The plastic nuts can easily be removed by twisting and pulling them off. You can remove all 10 plastic nuts. Next, you will need the 2 short connecting rods with the 3 pre-drilled holes. You can move the other connecting rods to the side. You will also need 2 plastic washers and 2 short screws and the body plate that says STEAMCODE. Find the side of the connecting rod that has 2 holes closer to one side. Use the bottom hole and line it up with the bottom hole on the metal connecting plate. Use one of the small screws to pass from the inside to the outside, and then add a plastic washer. You may find that it's easier to hold the screw from the back with the screwdriver. You attach the washer, and if your fingers get sore, you can use a pair of pliers. Do the same thing on the other side. Again, find the side of the connecting rod with the 2 holes that are closer to one side. Line up the bottom hole with the metal plate. Pass a short screw from the inside to the outside and use a plastic washer on the end. This is how it should look at the end. Do the same thing on the other body plate, but this time you're going to attach the connecting rods that have 2 pre-drilled holes. Do it at the same location at the bottom opening of the metal plate with a small metal screw. And attach a plastic washer. Attach the tops of the connecting rods together. The connecting rods from the side of the body with the gearbox on it will go on the inside. And from the side that says STEAMCODE, it will go on the outside. Use a small metal screw to pass through the 2 holes and attach with a plastic washer. Again, on the other side, the connecting rod that's closest to the gearbox goes on the inside. The connecting rod from the side that says STEAMCODE goes on the outside. Use a small metal screw to slip through the 2 holes, connecting the pieces together, and add a plastic washer to the other side. This is how it should look when you're done. Next, find the two long connecting rods. Notice that one end of the connecting rod has one hole and the other end has two holes. You're going to be using the side that has one hole and attaching it to the plastic crank on the gearbox. Notice the plastic crank has 3 holes on one side and 2 holes on the other. We're going to be using the side that has 2 holes. So line the hole up with the outer hole. Use a metal screw to pass from the inside out and attach a plastic washer to the outside. Again, sometimes it's helpful to use a screwdriver to hold the screw in place while you tighten the plastic washer. Don't tighten it too much though. There needs to be a little bit of flexibility here. Do the same thing on the other side. Line up the top hole of the crank with the side of the connecting rod that has one hole. Pass a small screw from the inside out and then attach the plastic washer. At this point, your Wiggly Caterpillar should look like this. The next step is to find 4 more plastic washers and 2 long screws. Next, you're going to use the long screw to pass through the middle opening of the short connecting rod. Then add a plastic washer until it meets the short connecting arm. Do the same thing on the other side. Long screw through the middle opening of the short connecting rod and screw on the plastic washer. Next, find the long connecting arm and slip the outermost hole over the long screw and add another plastic washer. Do this on both sides. At this point, your Wiggly Caterpillar should look like this. Next, find the small piece of sandpaper and the adhesive foam. Use your scissors to cut the adhesive foam in half, and then cut 1/2